Obviously, the Eagles got DeAndre Swift, as we reference, and the Chiefs, they drafted and they did their thing at the draft. So, right now, Vegas still likes the Chiefs to repeat as champions. But that prompted me to come up with this question. Better chance, as I'm getting a call. Somebody don't like my take. I don't care, right? Anyway, better chance to return to the Super Bowl post NFL draft. Eagles or Chiefs? And Jay, once again, you can start us off.
Okay. Personally, I know I've been very vocal about how weak the NFC is. And I'm going to continue with that statement. I think the Eagles, will have a better chance to make the Super Bowl. Based upon what I'm seeing in the NFC, I think right now the only team that's really going to compete with them off just the paper, off of what looks good, is the Cowboys. For them to get a chance to go to that Super Bowl. There's a lot of teams who've gotten better. Falcons being one of them. There's a handful of teams that could possibly make a run in that NFC, but I think it's the Eagles all the way that has a better chance of returning. I like their young defensive lineman and Davis. They just drafted Carter. They got Nolan Smith. They have a lot of young guys who are going to develop. I'm not going to say right away, but they could create an impact on defense. Hargrave was a big loss, and somehow, some way, they found a way to just mitigate that by using this draft and utilizing their assets to gain more weapons on offense, and then also draft really well on defense. Man, it's just Howie Roseman is a wizard, man. He is so good. It's ridiculous what he's doing out there for the Eagles. But I think just based upon the post draft, I want to say Eagles have the better chance to returning to the Super Bowl. AFC is direly tough. Now you brought Sean Payton over there, Aaron Rodgers over there, Herbert getting on Kellen Moore. Let's see what that offense could be. Is there so much talent in that AFC? It's gonna be interesting how the Chiefs just combat that right away. I just gotta see what happens in the AFC. So for me, Eagles Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say Eagles. I'll go with them more, and a lot of it has to do with the balance of power, right? Before I even talk about the draft moves, I think it's the balance of power. The AFC is stacked and loaded, and I think the conference is set up that way to stop the Chiefs from within, right? Like, no, I don't want to play them in the Super Bowl. I'd rather them not get to a Super Bowl. I'd rather stop them from within. And I think if you're the AFC West, right, do you step your game up, right? These cats own all y'all. Do you step your game up to stop them from within, literally, by winning your conference and keeping them out of the playoffs, right? Making them have to go on the road for the first time. Like, have we ever seen Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs go on the road and win? No, we haven't. So maybe they make the playoffs and they have to go on the road for the first time. And how do they look going on the road? Because not to take shots at the Chiefs here, but at least with Tom Brady, I saw him go on the road as well as being home in the playoffs and win. I haven't seen Mahomes do that. So does that shift, right? When you talk about the Chargers within the division, as you alluded to, I expect them to be better offensively, right? I expect Kellen Moore to bring the best Herbert I have ever seen out of Herbert, right? You talk about the Quentin Johnson pick, wide receiver, giving Herbert another weapon because we all know and we could bank that Mike Williams and Keenan Allen is not going to give you a full, healthy 17 games. They're going to miss some games. It's just a matter of how much. And it's a matter of can Quentin Johnson, what role and what impact is he going to have as a rookie on this team? So, you got those factors. But when you talk about the Eagles and why I'm going to go with them, and one more thing before I actually get to them, you still got the Bengals to worry about, who is definitely upset that the referees robbed them last year in the AFC Championship game. Yes, I said it. It was a robbery by all accounts with no gun. They're going to want revenge, right? Josh Allen, he just got another weapon, even though I thought they should have went wide receiver. They went tight end, right? So you got them as well. So the Eagles, I think, when I look at the NFC, man, I can't really tell you another team that I think really could be a threat to the Eagles. And even if I want to say the 49ers, I still think quarterback is a question. Who knows how Brock Purdy is going to look when he comes back from injury, when he does come back, whenever that time is. I just don't see a team in the NFC that right now that I'm really saying, yeah, that team could beat the Eagles. The Eagles, they had a very excellent draft to make it worse, to add insult to injury, right? Like, it's one thing to be the favorite pre-NFL draft. But when you won the NFL draft, it's going to make it even harder. And that's exactly what happened with the picks that they made, getting guys from Georgia, right? Getting the best player, arguably most talented player in the draft, in Jalen Carter, right? And then
Mhm.
getting Nolan Smith, right? Bolstering up your defensive front, make up for the loss of Javon Hargrave, right? That
Mhm.
went to the 49ers. Now you filling a hole
Mhm.
immediately. So it's like, I don't know, man. The Eagles to me, you talk about them getting DeAndre Swift and
Mhm.
how that could literally be a weapon. He could go inside the tackle, outside the tackles. You add him into that RPO style of offense that are giving defenses fits, that RPO style, and you combine the fact that they are aggressive. They go for fourth downs. And the reason why they lost the Super Bowl was because they punted the ball back to Mahomes. They learned from that. They should learn from that. And I think the Eagles, they're going to make the Super Bowl. Like, I'm not gonna give a prediction right now, but I think they have a better shot to get to a Super
Mhm.
Bowl than Kansas City, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
No, absolutely. I mean, shoot, when we get to those, when we look at each division, when it gets down the line, that NFC East division is looking pretty good. Eric Bieniemy's over there. The Giants added a lot of fast receivers, tight ends. They added a lot of fast players. They added a cornerback over there in Deontay. There's a lot of different things that NFC East has changed and sculpted into one of, if not the best division in football. But we're going to talk about that more down the line because right now we're just focused on who has a better chance on the Eagles and Chiefs. And right now, we have to go Eagles. The NFC is just until somebody shows up. Until somebody shows up within at least the division or in that conference alone, we're not going to know what to anticipate. But the AFC has a lot of high expectations. A lot of teams want to be 10 plus win teams in that conference. It's not going to happen. There's going to be a lot of hard fought wins, and the Chiefs going to have to go through war again and we can come out victorious to make that Super Bowl run or finalize a Super Bowl run at that. So it's gonna be interesting. AFC is looking ridiculous.
And I understand people in the comments is gonna be like, "Yo, you got Mahomes and Kelsey and
Hmm.
Andy Reid. That's all you need, right?"
Hmm.
But the NFL don't work like that, right? And I understand that having them is going to make them competitive in any
Hmm.
game they play, in every game they play. So
Hmm.
they're going to be there. If you're going to beat the Chiefs, you're going to have to put them out. A 17-point lead is not going to cut it. You're going to have to literally stone them and go to the deep end in order to beat them. And that's the thing about that team is that you got to be willing to go on the deep end. We never seen the Eagles go through adversity. What happens if they do? That may shift the question here, right? But I don't think anything on paper right now serves up anything of adversity right now, especially when they just won the draft, right? So I think they're going to continue to roll through that division. Maybe a team may creep up. Maybe the Lions do. Maybe I don't know, but they should be able to creep up. The balance of powers in the AFC, and I seen Tom Brady lose playoff games. Yes, I am a Tom Brady fan. We won Super
Hmm.
Bowls, but we also lost Super Bowls. We also lost playoff games. So I think from within, the AFC could be able to knock down the Chiefs. And if they don't, then the NFL's a story behind league. Because I mean, come on, how many times are we gonna keep on seeing this, right? They have no weapons on their roster right now outside of Kelsey. They have no number one wide receiver. They back is, Isaiah Pacheco. He's a good dude. He's nice, explosive. But come on, y'all gotta beat them. If it's not now, then it's not never. And it's not 1999 anymore. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Please like and subscribe for all the up to date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.